Just naya ni aje. Mara ya kwanza nakuona kwa a live session that nafanya. Natumai uko fiti. Literally, this is no thing. This is nothing. But na hope uko salama. I should be anywhere. Or I could be anywhere but here. Lakini mimi ni nani? I'm testing fate. I'm testing limits za the human body. Wala ni aje. I hope nawe pia uko vyema. Just naye hajaniambia kama ako sawa or not, so siko sure. Siko sure hali yake iko vipi, lakini for you Regina, natumai uko salama. For Regina, na if you had, nipe one adjective that describes your current state of life. Nipe kivumishi moja ambacho kinaeleza hali ya maisha yako ilivyo sasa hivi. Namsema niko freshi. Nashukuru, nafurahi kusikia uko salama. Happy. That's beautiful. Philosophers, scientists, sociologists, psychologists, theologians, historians, amongst other persons from other disciplines have for eons debated story ya happiness na whether hiyo ndio the sole purpose ya humanity na our existence. To some, to many actually, watasema hiyo ndio sole purpose ya humanity. In fact, kuna book niko nayo hapa that sijaimaliza kusoma, inaanza na that debate ya sole purpose ya existence ya human beings. In fact, inajaribu kuanswer hiyo question ikiboro, rather ikistudy, ikiexamine philosophies za different individuals. Nakumbuka Plato, najua of course Plato coming from lineage ya Socrates. Kuna Descartes, ule Mfaransa, amongst others. Sijui if you agree that sole purpose ya humanity ni happiness na pursuing happiness. Ningependa kujua. Hii inaweza kuwa pia philosophical, but ningependa kujua wewe. Na Regina amesema exciting, describe state ya life yake at the moment as exciting. Kuna happy and exciting. Hizi ni states nzuri sana exist in, so I am glad for both of you. Na happy, hiyo ni fiti sana kuona, na exciting. Get philosophical based on response. Yeah, nimepata nothing intended. That's a good one. Nothing intended. If you look at the title of this live, that's a double entendre. Very effortlessly. I should be freestyling later in the day. And this is me giving myself an excuse that nisipo show up, ujue ni because I am about to go to bed. In fact, niko kitandani. Nisipo show up, ujue ni because I am sleeping at 1 p.m. or I am contemplating sleeping at 1 p.m. Naweza taka kujua why happy ama what is making your current state happy. For Naya, Regina, pia if you will ni engage nini inafanya life yako sahi iwe exciting. Niko curious, tell me about your lives during this live. Snap spoken word style. I'm just dropping punchlines. Haya, so Naya naamua kusema something very abstracted in my view, angalau. I think happiness is a state of mind which comes from within yourself. What could be more abstract than that statement in this current moment? What? Amesema happiness is a state of mind. That is one. Tuachie tu hapo kwanza. And to reflect, since tuko kwa philosophical discourse. Could also be a social discourse. An emotional one too, depending na perspective yako. Tukingoja Regina tuambie what ina make life yake iko exciting, if ako willing to share the information nasi. Of course, happiness as a state of mind. So this touches on kile nimesema earlier kuhusu falsafa na idea ya happiness as a pursuit, as a purpose ya humanity. Lakini naye anatuambia ni state of mind. So the possibility ya kuiachieve comes into question. How this looks like comes into question. Its manifestation comes into question. Its individuality comes into question. The communal aspect, whether it's possible even, since now if it's a state of mind iko na element personal, iko na element ya the individual na role yake kwa kuensure state fulani of mind imekuwa achieved. So there is that, but idea of the state of mind na what entails the state of mind, tunaweza enda deep na tuulize more questions to dissect the statement further. The existence of the mind. Something again that the people he mentioned earlier, from historians, theologians, or to spiritual, or to religious believers, scientists, physicists, sociologists, psychologists, philosophers, neurologists, surgeons, etc. Wamedebate about for years and years and years. Story ya the mind, existence ya the mind. Pseudo spiritualists, And so kuna idea kudefine happiness and what it is, alafu kuna idea state of mind, alafu nao ni aje Meja na haya kamaliza akisema it's a state of mind that comes from within yourself. Comes from within, alafu comes from within yourself. You can choose to break apart yourself, useme yourself. Now when even further ulize what is the self. What entails the self, nini na create the self. Does the self exist without the mind? Does the mind exist without the self? Does the mind exist without the self? Does the self exist without the mind? What is the self? Where is the self located? Is the self tangible? Is the self also a state of mind? Is the self something imagined? What is the self? And many more philosophical, non-ending, relentless questions za maisha. Meza nasema amekam na makasi buda. Wani venye nimepozi hivi na neza eka mkono zangu hivi nikae kimathi. For the famous footage. Nilikuwa najaribu tu ku break down statement ya Naya kusema I think happiness is a state of mind which comes from within yourself. Na how abstract it is kulingana na mimi. Sijui kama Naya nakubaliana ama Regina amefollow my flow of thought for some time. Regina mwenyewe anasema I can see plans and goals lining up. That's A1. So I'm in that space, even though there's a lot of personal work and growth to do, I can see it will pay off. So that's why for Regina, the current state ya life yake ni exciting. Meja uko hapa, what is your current state of life? Ukiamua, nikikwambia define life yako na adjective moja ama na word moja utasema nini? Naye alisema happy, Regina amesema exciting. Ndio ana explain kwa hiyo comment nimesoma. That's beautiful to hear. Glad mipango yako ina ambatana, kuna alignment, una experience at this point ya your existence na kwa that current space. Hata kama na recognize kuna bado space for a lot of work na growth. Amesema anaweza ona, ana project that ita pay off eventually, so that's great to hear. I can somewhat link this to idea yourself and see if this is something that you think about. One, the self ni never ending. The self is constantly unfolding. For example, ule self mwenye amejipresent kwa live, the self that is you, yourself as Regina, yourself as Major, yourself as Naya, yourself ama huyo self mwenye amejipresent kwa live ni a different self from the one mwenye alikuwa ana exist before ajue of the existence ya live na ajoin live. Sijui kama unanifuata. Meja amesema ako contented. So kile namaanisha ni the way unajipresent hapa sahi is different from the way utajipresent kwa another situation, kwa another present moment. The you as you are ile location uko sahi si the same you that ako kwa hii live as we are speaking. Ina sound ni kama ni inception ndani ya an inception ndani ya another inception, but na believe unanifuata. Ukiamua kuipeleka further kidogo, tunaweza sema the simple fact that you're here now imechange the self that you are before ukuja hapa. This life haikuwa ina exist in your life at all before this moment. Uliona African ameenda live, notification, ukaamua kujoin, ikakuwa part of your reality. Imechange who you are in whatever ways. Ni aje Larry pia ametujoin. Larry mwenye alikuwa ana exist before ajoin hii live si the same Larry amejoin hii live. Hata nikisema hivi sahi, the me that was before Larry ajoin hii live si the me that I am now, literally. Alafu kuna multiple realities and possibilities out of every action that ina happen. Larry amekuja ikabadilisha trajectory ya my conversation, ikabadilisha trajectory ya my thought process forever, na ikachange the reality that has happened forever. So ourselves are constantly unfolding na are constantly forming. Ndio maana nilikuwa nauliza, nikichukua statement ya Naya break down na kusema what is the self na whether your happiness na how does that happiness form from the self, na your self mwenye na create happiness from within ni nani, na na create from within wapi. Ku break down the idea further. Na idea ya quantum physics, multiple situations, multiple existences, a myriad of possibilities and events. So Larry anasema true. Literally everything inabadilisha who you are and what you are. Kila dakika, kila sekunde, kila millisecond. The reason nilikuwa na bring up the idea ya ku break down the self further, I wanted to understand from Regina as well as Larry Jame to join idea ya goal setting, having objectives in life and place unataka kufikia, malengo ungetaka kuachieve. Najua Larry ni mtu ako keen and focused na dedicated to journey yake ya fitness na exercising and training. Idea ya kuset goals na kukuwa na objectives katika life. Individually now for Larry, for Regina, do you ever think and feel there is ever an end to what you want to achieve? Not as human beings, but for you personally. Do you believe kuna point inaweza fika useme nilikuwa na goals fulani maishani, ama for this period of time nimezi achieve and now that's it? For example, to keep it from what Regina amesema, with yeye kuwa na plans na goals lining up, amesema kuko hiyo space, even though there is a lot of personal work and there is a lot of personal work and growth to do, I can see it will pay off. Kuna two parts to this. Amesema there's a lot of personal work and growth to do, so inamaanisha kuna place yenye yuko, alafu kuna place angetaka kufika, and between these two situations ni a lot of work separating them. So Regina ana envision if anaweza close hii gap ya a lot of work, either anaweza minimize ndio these 2 points ziwe closer, or a close the gap completely na everything ialign na goals zako nazo ziwe kitu moja na aweze kuzitimiza. Lakini between those points ni a lot of work and personal growth to do. It's interesting, going back to the idea of the self. Will it ever get to a point where the personal work has been done to a point where una feel it's this way, or will it constantly be, if this is the space, itakuwa now imepungua, then imeexpand further, una feel nika kufanya anything, imepungua kabisa, una feel yes, this is it, imeenda sana? And if the answer is yes or no, what do you think keeps this friction and movement as an eternal thing, that we'll have to constantly have things to achieve na things to look forward to, vitu za kutaka kufanya tu generally kwa life? What keeps that idea and situation perpetual? And Regina Joel alisema I can see it paying off. At what point do you see that happening? Now, if that happens, then if it pays off, as you say, itakuwa imefika tamati ya kile ungedai kuachieve, ama kutakuwa na something else that ungedai push further. Na just to mention, when that happens, that will be another self. Going back to the self. Hizi ideas are goals na objectives tied to what tulianza from sentiment ya Naya akiongelea how happiness comes from within, na happiness being a state of mind, na nika mention story ya purpose na existence ya human beings, so zime tie together. Ranks alipitia hapa. Niaje Ranks? Alipita akasepa. Niko hapa na Regina na Larry. Shukran sana kwa kuwa hapa for this random musings from someone who has not slept the entire morning. Semangi night, just talangi usiku anyway. So the entire morning sijalala. Na niko hapa. Ranks amerudi. Niko hapa kutafuta excuse ya kutuenda live baadaye for Freestyle Friday. Juan nimekuja hapa live for nothing. Alafu tu I should be sleeping, but I am here. But what is life? What is time? Again, what is time? Time inatai very aptly kwa idea, goals, planning, objectives kwa life, kupasu vitu, usijipatianga timelines, kusema niko na goals nafaa kufanya in January, in February nafaa kuwa nimefanya this by March, by the end of 2022 nafaa kuwa nimetimiza vitu fulani, and on it goes. By the time I'm 35, by the time I'm 30, by the time niko 40, etc, and the absurdity continues. What is time? Ranks alikuwa anasema good to see you bro, you look well. Asante sana. What you don't see underneath me looking well ni kutolala, but hiyo mu manage vizuri sana, it's nothing new. Acha niambie watu wako hapa very quickly. I am currently doing an exercise called music writer exercise kwa akaunti yangu ya Sana kwa Sana on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook. The exercise, as I've said, music writer exercise, ni an exercise whereby unasikiza an album you've never heard before each day of February, alafu unaandika a tweet about it. Interestingly, before nikuje live, I was looking at stories za Ivy Roby, who is participating kwa the exercise with I and other individuals whom I am grateful for: Roger, Abe, Mbunge na Sisi Babo. So with Roby that makes 5, ukiniadisia that makes 6 of us. I am so grateful that tunaifanya. Ilianzishwa na an American music journalist called Gary Suarez in 2015. This is the 4th year naifanya. Vile nimesema, unasikiza an album, a full length project hujaisikiza before, alafu unaandika a tweet about it kila siku ya February. That's the exercise, just so you know. Na nimeamua tu kuimention. It's part of the reason I am in an engaged and hectic schedule for the whole of February. Are you interested? Do you love music that much? Uparticipate kwa hii exercise? If you do, let me know. Let me know. So, Regina says, absolutely yes, there is an end. The goals we set are to enable us to become our better selves. A better self than the self that you are without those goals or without achieving those goals. This can take us further to a deeper rabbit hole. It can take us to more paths and an entanglement that will be a labyrinth of intertwining thoughts and deeper perspectives. Tabia za kibatman, usijali ranks, hizi vitu. What is time? Ranks anasema ni kama tu constantly sisi ni work in progress. It's a constant thing. So kile Ranks anasema ni an antithesis to what Regina asserts. Regina anasema absolutely there is an end, lakini ana note that kile tunafanya na hizi goals ni za kutu enable to become better selves. Ranks anasema we are constantly works in progress. So the term in itself, work in progress, ni continuous tense. Ni progress, work in progress. Continuous, never ending. Hiyo never ending state inaweza kuwa part of mtu kujaribu kuachieve goals fulani, alafu as that happens unaweza fikia a place where you are a better version of your older self, alafu ufikie hiyo point yenye Regina anasema that can be an end for you. Challenge inakuanga if you are in a constant state of doing things, especially trying to improve yourself, utajipata uko state whereby even the self that is better than an older version of yourself ungetaka kuimprove. Unafeel hapana, I can become better than this better. Alafu tukumbuke kuna constant messaging kwa hii dunia, yeah, you can better your better, you can better your best. The messaging is sold kwa kila platform. Kani kwa kanisa, kwa sermons utaona online, kama ni kwa gurus, spiritual leaders, motivational speakers, authors, watu wa kukuinspire. Kila msana anauza hiyo message. Unaweza better your better, unaweza better your best. So inakuwa tricky kuweza put a cap on how far the self can go na how better unaweza kuwa na the ceiling ya hiyo betterness. Larry alikuwa anasema I believe there is no end because hata before ni explain, you will want to strive for more after getting there. So hiyo constant cycle, constant loop ya existence ya human beings, purpose, objectives, goals, idea, self, and who the self is. Nime-explain kusema how the self is constantly unfolding, the self is constantly forming. Ukiamata break down to the smallest of bits, to minute particles, utaona tu hiyo unfolding iki happen over and over. For example, vile nimesema, na before ni break down, every human action is an act of self-preservation. Kila action ya binadamu ni act ya self-preservation. With that being said, naweza get to whatever I wanted to state. Nimesema kwa hii live that ini an excuse in case nisi show up later for my Freestyle Fridays, which I do kila Friday in the afternoon. The question is, why do I do it? Right? Why bother? Why be consistent about it? Mbona nikuwe so concerned na hii kitu hadi niifanye kila Ijumaa, na ni show up, na ni set up lights, ni set up TNJ, ni rap, ni interact, ni engage. Sunday kwa sana niifanye. Different setup, different conversations, environment tofauti. Why do anything in life? Why do anything? Mbona na make hizi statements, mbona na have hizi conversations, mbona niko na hizi thoughts, mbona nazishare, mbona nimego live. Loops inside of loops inside of loops, inceptions inside of inceptions inside of inceptions. The idea ya human activities na actions tunafanya kuwa part of an ideal state that tuna pursue, believing tunaweza achieve a better existence for ourselves before anyone else, improving states tuna exist in before external states for other people, kama ni watu katika maisha yetu, wapenda nao, marafiki, ama watu katika jamii zetu, watu katika nchi zetu, watu katika hii dunia tunaishi ndani. Believing that tunaweza live in better ways, believing idea ya better, believing an idea of the self, na kile unaweza become, kile naweza become, an optimism, an underlying hope kwa fabric ya humanity, kwa fabric ya our existence, whether overtly ama subtly, consciously or unconsciously. And so the mere fact ya kubreathe, kutake in air, kuinhale, kuexhale, that's a grand metaphor for the constant optimism, for the constant drive that tuko nazo kama binadamu, kuamini kuna just something next, kuna something next, kuna something next, ama kunafaa kuna kitu inafuata hii moment, kunafaa kuna something else that follows this current state that niko in, kuna something else, kuna something else, kuna kitu better, kuna an ideal, kuna a future. And so it goes, and so it goes. Ini kui break down to the simplest of fractions na kui fragment, kujaribu understand the grander idea ya goals na objectives za maisha, na easy aspects that normally we might not consider nor think about tukiendelea kuishi lives zetu. For some reason, at some point during your life, nilikuwa nafikiria Hazel. And then na check the people who are here, na naona Hazel ako hapa. Just look at the loops za life. Crazy. Niaje Hazel, karibu sana kwa our random, but are they philosophical musings. Quantum physics inspired musings, philosophical, scientific, sociological, psychological, neurological, social, cultural musings. Kuna a second point I wanted to explain because I mentioned one a few moments back. I believe naweza kuwa nimeigusia kwa my explanations, but there was something I wanted to touch on specifically. Might have touched upon it, but anyway. Omeja alisema hali yake ni contented, na tumegusia story ya contentment na whether pursuit ever stops, touches upon that. An idea of bettering ourselves, as Reginald komesema earlier akisema there's an end, Lari akasema there is no end because we'll want to strive for more. Ranks pia akasema ni constantly kukua, sisi nika works in progress, constant state of existence. The Bambis walikuwa hapa alafu wakatoka. Too much philosophical talks. At 1 p.m. Not healthy. Not healthy to be this in depth na layered in the afternoon. But what is time once again? What's time? So now. Ranks ameishia na mwanamuuliza swali fulani. Amesema ako interested kwa MWE, amuuliza ni nyinyi mnasuggest hizi album ama. Sasa juu ameenda, juu ameishia, itakuwa ngumu mimi kumjibu. Najua hata wana kitu after this, so akitaka jibu anitafute. Kani yeye amerudi nampatia answer sahi. Huyu ni Kikete, huyu si Ranks. Kikete ni aje? Nimekuwa hapa nikimuse philosophically for the last 40 minutes. Finding an excuse for me not showing up later for Freestyle Friday. Hi Hazel, sorry for the disappointment if I don't. Nimesema mnaweza angalia my latest reel, the one before the latest one, for consolation. Unaweza kaa tu niangalie alafu imagine nikirap ama uisikie na in combination na the last reel. Uzimaji, you thought me into your life. It seems I did. Poa sana, you were right. I am. Sleep deprived. Also I think, also I want to convince myself. Ndio maana nimekuja kwa hii live at a few minutes to 12 p.m. Juu nilikuwa nasema acha nikuja hapa nijitetee, ndio nikilala nikose kushow up baadaye, kukuna alive ya kuji-explain. Yeah. You will have nothing on me. You will have nothing on me. Na ilikuwa alive about nothing. Layers. And this entire life imekuwa just about layers and layers and layers. Kuhusu existence na life na idea of the self, idea ya mind, goals, objectives, and constant loops za existence, etc. So everything comes back into circles, as Mark Miller says. Na tunasemanga life ni cycle, etc. So that's that. I envisioned this to be very short, In fact nilikuwa najiambia I was almost sure hakuna msata show up, so nitaka hapa for 5 or 10 minutes peke yangu, alafu ni vanish, alafu nisisave live. Lakini juu tuko 45 minutes in, almost an hour, I didn't expect any of this, but I know better, but I want to pretend I don't. So nimeenda up make up of 45 minutes. Nilianza na kuuliza vile watu wako, hali zao. So tumalize vile tulianza. Let's complete the cycle. Layers. I usually have the best lives ever. Go back to the beginning of this if you didn't watch it. Najua Hazel might do that. Uone venye ilianza, alafu utakatch kile nasema. You're going back to how this started and completing the cycle. So nilianza nikiuliza vile watu wanaendelea. Najua sema uko poa sana, but the exact question ilikuwa nipatie one adjective so hizo nilikuwa nasema the precise question ilikuwa ama a question ama statement ama requirement, nipatie kivumishi kimoja kinachoeleza hali yako ya maisha jinsi ilivyo sasa hivi. Translation. Describe life yako sahi kutumia one adjective ama one word. Tumalize hii live, mimi nijilaze, tusipoonana baadaye. Nimejitokeza, nimejitetea. So itabaki tu umesikiza my 2 reels before this live. Watch them again and again and again and again. You can combine them, imagine nikirap, or you can watch this live in place of Freestyle Friday. Juu conversation imekuwa freestyle. You know. So tukapata answers kuhusu how people are. Naya akasema happy. Regina akasema excited. Then tukaget deeper into the same stories of happiness and what that means, definition, what happiness is. Alafu tukaanza hizi falsafa nyingi zile zimefanya tukayapa for almost 1 hour. Haya, Hazel the writer amesema poignant. Wewe tukianza kudelve into this further, tutakapa for another hour. I might as well just turn on hizi lights, nieke instrumental, tuanze kurap. You know, that's a possibility. Napenda spontaneity sana, and that's a possibility. Na nishaanza kurhyme spontaneity, possibility. So stauliza Hazel why poignant, nitaiachia hapo. Elvo ni aje? Elvo alitujoin kwa one of the previous lives tukiwa hapa. So tutamaliza hii shughuli. Hazel nimekupatia solutions for Freestyle Friday in case the inevitable in quotes happens. But until then, asante sana for joining. Asante for listening to these musings. If you're watching this after the fact, drop comments zako kwa comment section. Drop your musings. your thoughts, your ideas kwa comment section. Let's continue with this cycle na hizi loops za falsafa, hizi loops za existence. Let's continue kwa comment section. Glad uko fiti sana Elvo. Si tumemaliza shughuli. Shukran sana kwa kujoin. Asante sana. So until then, asante for checking this out. Asante for your time na engagement.